Hello everybody, this is the Retro Bear speaking to you from the gaming brothel. As you can see, we're a completely different part of the Bear Towers complex this week, and we are doing something slightly different with this video. We are bringing you an unboxing. Well, you know that anyway, because you've already seen it because of the graphic at the start. Otherwise, then this wouldn't be much of a surprise, would it really? Anyway, thank you very much indeed for tuning in. If this is your first time here, don't forget to tune to the other channels that I heartily recommend through my pickups videos. Don't forget to have a look at some of the gameplay content on the channel, and don't forget to also check out some of the great pickups I've had over the years, all here on Retro Bear. And if you haven't had a chance to poke around yet, don't forget to do so, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and tick the bell for any further video notifications that go up. Right, so this is an unboxing video. We don't do many of these here. In fact, I think I've maybe done 2 ever, and they've both been this year. One wasn't very successful, and the other one was possibly the most successful video I've done for quite some time. So let's get straight on with it. Earlier on this year, I say earlier on this year, probably during lockdown, I purchased an item from Amazon for a crackingly good price. I've already shown this off on all my pickups videos. However, I've yet to take it out of the box. Now, if you go back and look at how long that video actually is, you'll realise that that was quite some time ago. Why haven't I unboxed this yet? Well, I was saving it for now, but now, because I have time to do this video, I'm going to do it now. So it is this. You'll know what it is because you've seen it on the front. And there's no surprise there. Now, first of all, apologise for a bit of the wobble on the camera there. I'm going to be very, very careful because it's precariously placed, but also doesn't take too much to wobble the old table and sort of get a bit of judder going on. Hopefully, it shouldn't cause too many problems. This is what we're talking about, the Mega Drive Mini, the Sega Mega Drive Mini. You can't get confused with the real life-size one because it's a lot smaller. But it is identical in every single way, as you can see there. It's even down to this bit here with Sonic the Hedgehog on the box. We all know the old Mega Drive classic logo, classic black box. You obviously got the grid design on the back there, got 16-bit on the front, and of course there was Sonic, which was sort of perched behind the Mega Drive on the original boxing. I had an original box back in the day. This was released, I think, in October 2019. And we're now recording this in July 2020, which gives you an idea of just how long ago it actually came out. I think it came out for $69.95. I think a lot of places were selling it a lot cheaper than that. I nearly got one at the time, but with Christmas coming up, it did seem a bit unfair to treat myself. And with the fingers crossed that maybe I would get one for Christmas, but I didn't ask for one, so I didn't get one. It's like say, you can't win the lottery unless you buy a ticket, so you can't have one of these for Christmas unless somebody specifically sort of says, is there anything you want for Christmas? Yes, I'd like one of these, please. When am I 5 years old? No, a lot older than that. So it was on the wish list for a while, and then obviously we had lockdown, and pickup sort of stopped, and I was really sort of struggling to find something. I kept checking on the price of this, and it kept going in and out of stock with Amazon. And then all of a sudden it came back into stock, and it came in on a cracking price of 48 quid. I think it's 52 as of today's recording, which is the 27th of July. So it's still relatively cheap, but for me it had to break that £50 barrier. I haven't seen it cheaper anywhere else. I haven't seen it drop down like that. As I remember a few months ago, if you remember, I bought an NES Mini for £30 in the box. Unfortunately it was second hand. This is brand new. So if there's a good price on something, I'm going to pick it up. And if you think this was a good price for that one, I've got another video coming up later on this week, or shall I say in a few days' time, just give myself a bit more time to do it, which is going to be something a bit better. And again, that was a cracking price. So we've gone through the box. This is a rather fabulous redesign of it. It's an oblong shape rather than the official square. That's the top of it there. You can see it's got this Sega seal of quality. I'm going to call on that. I'll just turn it the right way around, because rather than have you stand on your heads and watch this. There we go. So 16-bit, the ultimate computer console. There we go. There's all the legal requirements and various sorts of notifications at the bottom there, which you don't really. This is not going to be a selling point to you, is it really? No, of course not. There's some more stuff on the side, which gives you some other bits and pieces about sort of various parts there. Something in French as well. Chez certaines personnes, so with the attention of certain people, the utilisation and necessity of the precautions taken amplifies the particularities of something down the road. Anyway, Pretty sure my French is spot on. Apologies to any French people out there. And then this is what you get on the back. Now, big sort of thing is why... I've spoken about it. If you listen to our TMB gaming podcasts Sunday nights at 7 on YouTube, you would sort of understand my reasoning for buying one of these. I mentioned it, I think, in the pickups video as well. Sega, over the years, have licensed this Mega Drive out to a number of third parties. Now, the purpose in doing that is to obviously sort of bring nostalgia back, tap into that sort of retro gaming market. What let those sort of consoles down was sometimes the quality, sometimes the pure rubbishness of them, and the fact that pretty much all the games were always the same on every single release, even down to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 Mega Drive collections which came out. Now, fantastic compilations that they are, you would have on there 5 Sonic games. You would have on there 3 Golden Axe games. You'd have on there 3 Streets of Rage games. You'd have Vector Man 1 and 2. And before you realise it, you've got 40 games on here, as you have with this one. But of those 40, 25 of them would be from the same series of, 4 or 5 games each. So it really does defy it. What sets this apart, and I think this is what needs to be sort of brought in, when the NES Mini came out, there was nothing on there really that was a deal breaker. There was a couple of, decent games on there that they hadn't sort of endlessly released on the Wii store and now on the Switch store and things like that. But generally speaking, it was not something we hadn't seen before. The SNES Mini was different because unless you had access to the online stores, they hadn't sort of tampered with that sort of thing. And if anybody buys one of these sort of knockoff Chinese Far Eastern little 500, 600 in one games, you get all the NES ROMs on there anyway. So the SNES was something a bit different, which is probably why it sold, and it's sold as well as it did do, but the prices are now sort of through the roof on it. This is something again that was completely different. This was different games here that you probably wouldn't expect to see. Now, using my pointing stick, which is also the handle off my camera, it's useful though. It's very good that, yeah. There are some exceptionally strange games on here which we probably wouldn't have expected to see, such as, and I can't pull this close to the camera because you won't be able to see it properly, but take my word for it, World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, and Castle of Illusion. Now, those 2 games we thought as gamers we'd probably never see released again. We did get a remake of Castle of Illusion a few years ago, but generally speaking, it's not usually on a console. What about this one? Castlevania. Castlevania, I think, is a new beginning. Now, that game there, you associate Castlevania with Nintendo. There is absolutely no way around it. You just simply do not see, you would not expect to see a Castlevania game on a Sega console. Now, I know this isn't, traditionally speaking, a Sega console as such, because, well, it isn't. Although it is made by Sega, it's not something you can sort of go around and put your games into because it's a non-functioning piece of equipment, from that respect. But you wouldn't expect to see Castlevania. You would not expect to see a Mega Man game on there as well. Mega Man game on a Mega Drive. Compilation. Not just a Mega Drive compilation. And down here, Street Fighter 2, which I, again, have said many times, always associate that with a Nintendo franchise, because Street Fighter 2, when it came out, was specifically, it was at the time, a Nintendo exclusive. That is obviously the Special Champions Edition, which is slightly different. Also, as well, there are some games on here which, again, you probably wouldn't have expected to have seen, like Gunstar Heroes, which in itself was an incredibly expensive game if you had the original. And we've got Alicia Dragoon, again, another game which is expensive. The Story of Thor, again, very expensive game. Let's just see what we got down there. I can't see anything else that sort of springs out to mind. Oh, Wonder Boy in Monsterland, again, that's quite an unusual one to see on here. You've also got 2 bonus games like you did with the SNES Mini. SNES Mini gave you Star Fox 2, and you never thanked you for it. So, on this one, you've got Tetris, which again is a Nintendo game. You associate that with the Game Boy. Not sure if that's meant to be any good though. I've got a feeling it's not a great sort of conversion of it. And we've got another game called Darius. Now, anybody who knows your shoot-em-ups, if you're new to shoot-em-ups and retro gaming, Darius was a very well-known side-scrolling shoot-em-ups, which again you associated with Nintendo. So it's fantastic to see the effort that's gone here. Let me just try and give you a quick overview. If I just read out the list, I've got my phone to me because I can't read these off the back of the box because my eyes are crap. And I can't hold it up the box because you won't be able to see them. So we've got Sonic 1, we've got Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania the New Generation, which I may call the New Adventures a minute ago, Castlevania the New Generation, Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Toe Jam and Earl, which I think there is another one, which you probably wouldn't expect to see on this one. Comic Zone, Altered Beast, Gunstar Heroes, we mentioned Castle of Illusion and World of Illusion. We've got Thunder Force 3, which is a shooter right down the bottom there. Super Fantasy Zone, Shinobi 3, Streets of Rage 2, Earthworm Jim. Again, that's another one which many people felt would have been tied up in a licensing nightmare, but it's there. We've got Sonic 2, Probotector, Landstalker, Mega Man, the Wily Wars. Or the Willy Wars, I don't know. Willy Wars sounds a bit rude to me, so I'm going to say Wily Wars and get predominantly laughed at when people remind me of what I'm saying. Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Ghouls and Ghosts, Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle, Story of Thor, Golden Axe, Phantasy Star 4. So if you like your role-playing games, there's a couple of titles on here certainly for you. We've got Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. I'm reading this from bloody Amazon. Sonic Spinball. It's never been known as Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball. Sonic Spinball is every single compilation. Vector Man, Wonder Boy Monster World, Tetris Darius, Road Rash 2. That's another one. Again, never seen that before on one of these. Strider, Virtua Fighter 2. Alicia Dragoon, Kid Chameleon, Monster World 4, which is over here. Eternal Champions, Columns, which is on every single compilation, and you're going to get it on every single compilation, whether you like it or not. Dynamite Heady, and then right there again, I've never even heard of before, right at the very end, it's called Light Crusader. So that is what you get in terms of game. 42 games built onto this console, and I've got to say, 42 games, 48 quid is pretty bloody good value in all fairness. Even at 50 quid, it's an absolute steal. If you haven't got a proper Mega Drive, and you don't mind playing emulated games, this is certainly the way forward, because on here I reckon you've got an absolute smack bang brilliant lineup of games, probably the strongest lineup of games. I think this beats a SNES just. I think it does. Some people would argue with that, but when I think of Sega, I'm thinking of Sonic, I'm thinking of Alex Kidd, I'm thinking of Shinobi, Echo the Dolphin. That sort of thing I am thinking of straight away, and those sort of games need to be on here. The fact you've got Space Harrier in there as well, it's a classic from, although it's just the sequel, it's a classic sort of series. Altered Beast, which of course was the original packing game for the Mega Drive, that's got to be in here. Ghouls and Ghosts, which I think was one of the very first releases. That was the screenshot they put in all the magazines at the time. And I was amazed how good it looked. Golden Axe as well, and the fact you get these bonuses, these really sort of expensive games. Landstalker, you've got Gunstar Heroes. Oh yeah, it's just so many good games. Strider as well, which some people associate as a great sort of Sega franchise. Thunder Force 3, sort of shoot 'em up and make you cry. Yeah, you got everything in here. You don't need anything else. So, shall we take a look inside? Now, I have opened this up, but as I said, I've not actually done anything else with it. So, it will almost be a fresh unboxing. There we go, you can see that. So we've got bits of cardboard everywhere. It's one of these strange ones. You've got a funny bit of cardboard there. There we go on that one. So inside, let's pull those out. What are those? That feels like a controller. Feels like another controller. Cable. Oh, we have, and you can see I've not had it out because the manual is still in the manual box, pamphlet. Another lead. I think there's a box in here as well. What's in the box? So that's the box. There we go, all empty. Got all sorts here. This is great. So, as standard, you get a USB cable. There we go. Is that USB? Yes, it is USB. Or is that HDMI? No, it's HDMI. HDMI cable. So again, guess I know what I'm talking about. HDMI cable. We've got, that's your USB. So standard USB 1 connection. Now you will notice one thing that is missing from here. We'll get to that in a second. USB. Make sure it's all left nice and tidy, because I dare say there'll be customers in later. What have we got here? So there's the manual. We'll go through that in a second. Let's have a look inside this box. Now I know what's inside the box. This is where all the fun begins. This is the console. Now, there you can see it. It's still in its plastic container. As you can see there, still not taken that off. There's a like a protective shield on that. Underneath there is a cartridge slot which is non-functioning. but obviously to give it its accuracy and dependence. Good grief, it's absolutely pelting it down. Just when there's a rushing noise going on in the background, which you probably won't be able to hear, but it's absolutely chucking it down outside. I've got the curtain shut because I haven't got the light on. Anybody familiar with the Mega Drive will see that you've got all the details in here. So it says at the top there, high definition graphics and stereo sound. That's on the original. You've got your power button on and off there, which will light up when you turn it on. 16-bit, obviously. Logo down the bottom. You've also got a reset button, which does actually... Does it depress? No, it doesn't actually depress. Oh, it does. There we go. It's a bit clicky. The old one was a bit sort of soft. You've also got your power switch, which clicks on and off. There we go. And also the volume, which was for the headphone socket, which would usually have been there. But as you can see, that's just on there for decoration. But that was obviously synonymous with the early models. So as you can see, it's completely accurate. You've got your vents down the side here, although they're not actually working as such. On the front, now obviously you've got your controller ports 1 and 2, which is great. So it's plenty of opportunity for 2 players. Let's turn it over onto the side. Nothing down the side, just a quick look there. See, there's nothing there, all there. Okay, let's have a look at the bottom. Turn that round so you can see. So it's just got the warning signs here. Manufacturer's gubbins. Sega Europe Limited. Based in Middlesex. There we go. And obviously serial numbers as well. It's great to have serial number in there. It's just 19 E328842. So I'm guessing that's quite a late one, one of the early ones. Also, you've got the old expansion port, which does not open. Don't think it does. Or does it? Yes, it does. They've got the old expansion port, which is on the bottom one. But that's not part of the... it doesn't actually work as such. You can't actually put anything in there. So there we go. So we've got those on the front, and then on the back, what you've got here, obviously the HDMI logo, and you've got your HDMI, and then USB. Now, as I did mention, this is a USB power thing. You will need a plug. No plug is supplied with this, but they are 10 a penny. The fact you're getting one of those and not a plug doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, as USB cables are equally as cheap there. I'm guessing it's not been put in there because of the packaging, trying to keep the cost down as such. So as you can see, it's a very, very accurate representation. I'm determined, am I determined to peel that back just a little bit and just see if I can get in there? I don't want to. I can't actually reach it. I don't really want to do that. Maybe you can, I don't know. Oh, go on. Oh, go on. I've broken it now. There we go. So the cartridge slots do disappear, but they just fall onto nothing as such. There we go. So that's the console itself. Everything is contained in there. You'll have a memory board and chip in there, and that'll run everything through it for you. So that's lovely. That's the console itself. Let's put that there. Can you still see that there? Put it there, there. There we go. That's there in... So you know I'm talking, there's this on the screen. Obviously you've got your instruction manual there. Now there are instructions in English, French, German, Italian, and another language I don't know about. There's not an awful lot to it, in all fairness. It doesn't tell you anything other than setting it up. Once you've seen one instruction manual, you've probably seen them all. That is all you're going to get. Doesn't give you anything. Gives you a bit of the instruction here about the console switches, slider and buttons, just to go through that. But that's it, and before you know it, you're on to the next language. So nothing there, but again, nice clean manual. Everything's very well done. Everything's bags, and you know, consoles in a bag. Put the console back in its bag, I think. Consoles in a bag. No, I'll leave it out actually, because I'm going to do a bit later on. That's all done. That's all done. That's all done. It's great. It is really great. Right. So what else have we got? Well, you'll obviously need something to play with, and this is where again the Mega Drive Mini comes out on top, because not only do you get a controller, but you also get an excellent representation of the Sega control pad. Now, once again, the initiated amongst you will realise that this isn't a 6-button pad, therefore you're going to have a few problems playing Street Fighter 2, for example, because you'll need more than that. I'm never going to play Street Fighter 2, so as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't make any difference to me. But yeah, so as you can see, nice long cable as well. Now, obviously one of the biggest drawbacks of the NES Mini was the fact the cable was just too short. You couldn't sit more than a foot away from the console without it. being pulled off the table. This obviously is the lesson's been learnt. Nice long USB connection into there. I don't know if you can use wireless pads with this, with a USB connection. You may be able to, I would have thought so. I know some of them are capable of doing so. That's the control pad, as you can see. Start button there. Nice firm buttons on that one. Nice control pad. Nice and light. And I said the advantage of this is not only do you get one, but you also get two. So this is fantastic. So again, for 50 quid, you haven't got to buy an extra pad. You haven't got to buy like the NES Mini, like the PC Engine Mini. You don't have to buy an extra pad. You aren't buying something like this and then having to fork out another 20 nicker for something else like that. Yeah. So everything here is that you've got a cracking selection of games. You've got a cracking little console. You've got your control pad set up there. You've got your HDMI stuff. I mean, what more could you want from a package like that for 50 nicker? I don't know. It's You'll be stupid not to. If you see one cheap enough, for goodness sake, pick it up. Of course, the main important thing is to see is not only just how well this actually sort of looks and how well does it actually play. So hopefully what will follow now is some game footage. Now I should warn you before I do the game footage that as I don't have a HDMI recording facility, this will be done off a camera pointed at the telly. Yes, very high-tech stuff, I know, but you'll have to bear with me for now on that. But I really wanted to show some footage off here. I could have showed you some emulated footage, but you'd have seen the difference, and that's not really what this is all about. So let's see some of the games, not all of them, some of the games that are on the Mega Drive Mini, and hopefully that'll give you a better idea of what it's all about. Now, depending on how that went, I'm going to be saying to you, wasn't that a lot of fun? Also, at the same time, I really apologise for the poor quality of that footage, or the fact there was no footage there at all. I really don't know, because as you will see from the console, I'm recording this straight afterwards. Anyway, so I can't really recommend this highly enough to most people. It is I know some people don't like the mini consoles; they prefer the original tech, and I completely understand that. And I think probably for around about the same price, you could get yourself a Mega Drive 1 and some games to go with it, and you'd probably be quite happy. But I don't know, this sort of takes care of some of it, especially when it comes down to cost and some of the games that are on here. And from that point of view then, I know some of these games have come down in value, certainly recently, over the last couple of years or so. Some have still retained decent value on it. And to be honest with you, that there is a fair few quid's worth of stuff there. So this is an ideal way to do it if you are sort of trying to get back into a retro gaming hobby, or you're interested in retro gaming. This is a perfect way to do it, as are the mini consoles themselves. Something like this, for the price it is, would save you a lot of money in the long run, and you'd also be able to plug it straight in your telly and get on with it, and not have to spend so much time bothering about whether it has a manual or not. Yeah, this is just absolutely the perfect package for anybody looking to satisfy a Mega Drive need. And you may, like me, played the Mega Drive when you were growing up. This may be the perfect way for you to get back into it. And as you can see, this isn't something which has been shoddily put together. This isn't one of those act games or Blaze things that was predominantly, clogging up shelves. I was in Cash Converters a few weeks ago, and the bloke serving me was joyously saying that he just stolen. No, that's the clientele. No, he just sold a Mega Drive. Now I was standing right behind the lady who bought it, and it wasn't a Mega Drive. It was one of these sort of reconditioned, sort of redone app games type thing. I said, "Well, you haven't sold a Mega Drive, have you, then, mate?" I said, "What you've sold is something which isn't a Mega Drive." And he went, "Yes, you're right." So to dispel any confusion on this. This isn't going to take up a huge amount of space in your house. It's not going to take up a huge amount of space. Your collection sit nicely on the shelf. This here, what size is that? That's the size of my hand. It's. Have I got a ruler up here? Usually we'd have a ruler up here. We have a ruler up here. There we go. Oh, there we go. I have a ruler. I can tell you that what we're talking, centimetres or inches? It's about 8 inches wide. You can work that out in centimetres, can't you? It's not 8 inches. It's 6 inches, just over 6 inches wide, and it's about whatever that is, about 4 inches long. So 4 by 6 inches. It's no space to it at all. It's not going to sort of take up too much space. It won't. Dead easy for dusting. Done. And if you take care of it, you can put it back in the box. Well, what more can you say? What more can you say? So, ladies and gentlemen, the Mega Drive Mini, which I'm not endorsed to promote in any way, shape or form, but to say to you, get yourself one of these if you do find one at a right price for you. I hate to think that most people will miss out on this going forward. It's not as if there hasn't been a plentiful supply of them, because it's not been difficult to get hold of, although I did notice during lockdown that they did appear on Amazon to disappear for a couple of weeks before they got some more stock in, which is when it's dropped down to that 48 quid price. But I think you can get them from Smythe's as well. Smythe's Toys online. And CEX, I'm pretty sure, will be selling them as well. And not as if they wouldn't sell them. But yeah. So, there you go. Make your mind up time. The Mega Drive Mini. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Retro Bear saying thank you very much indeed for watching this special unboxing video. It's been a pleasure to talk to you once again from the Gaming Brothel. I'm off to give the floor a good clean before the clientele move in. Until then, we'll speak to you very, very soon. Do take care, and bye for now.